Hey there, AmyK here, 50 at 50, and we are doing a part 2. So if you missed part 1, you can absolutely go back and catch it, but I just want to fill you in so that this email makes sense. I got an email from Erin. Hello, Erin. And she talked about how much she was struggling. She had turned 50 in the summer of 2020, and she struggled with enough versus giving up. Now then she proceeded to give a bunch of examples of what she's struggling with, and I answered that in part 1. So I'm gonna skip down to the bottom of her email and we're gonna pick up with that. I am struggling between getting really, really good at something versus the possibility of getting bored and feeling stuck. I think quite a few of us can relate to that, Erin. Getting deep in what I'm doing versus professionally progressing up the ladder. Owning a private plane versus what it takes to be successful at the job that gets you that plane. Gratitude versus giving up. And does this make sense? Do you hear this from other women? Hugs, Erin. First of all, Erin, yes, it makes total sense. Second of all, yes, I also hear it from other women. So let's dive into this a little bit. Let's unpack it. I struggle between getting really, really good at something versus the possibility of getting bored and feeling stuck. Okay. But I think that the struggle comes from the burden of, I have to figure this out today, and then whatever I figure out today must work for the next several years. That's a lot of pressure. That's a big burden. And I do think that many of us feel the pressure of whatever we do today, whatever decisions that we make, they better pan out, instead of the less stressful, less anxiety-inducing story of, I'm gonna make the best decision as I can in this moment. And we'll see how it unfolds. We'll see how it plays out. And I have faith in myself that down the road, if it's not feeling great, I trust myself to make then the next best decision. And then she says, getting deep in what I am doing versus professionally progressing up the ladder. This to me is kind of that logical and or thinking. If I do this, then I can't do that. Or if I do this, well, then what about that? That's very much a or. I have to have this or I can do that. What about this beautiful little word, and? Maybe I'd like to dive deep and progress up the ladder. Or maybe you start to progress up the ladder and you're like, this isn't for me. I actually want to go deeper on this skill set. But again, now it's that combo of and thinking instead of or thinking, and then giving yourself a little grace, a little wiggle room to say, I'm just gonna take it one step at a time and tune into how I feel. I'm gonna get out of my head and not have every decision be so methodical and logical, but maybe some of them are heart-centered. Maybe some of them are gut and core and internal compass-centered, and that can always change. We can always fine-tune that. And then she says, owning a private plane versus what it takes to be successful to get the plane. Girl, owning the plane, it's so overrated, but that's for a whole nother video, so we will come back to that. And then gratitude versus giving up. That's also a bit of a conundrum, and I've talked about this before, especially in our She Gets It Mastermind. You can be grateful for everything that you have and still want to have more pleasure, have more purpose, expand your capacity, play full out, make a bigger impact in the world. And that goes back to the, if I want more, then I'm not grateful for what I have. No, you can be grateful and want to maximize who you are and your human potential. You can love who you are right now and still want to grow as a person. They're not mutually exclusive. And so, Erin, does this make sense? Yes, it makes total sense. But hopefully a little bit of a mindset shift today will help it to be more approachable and to make you feel more comfortable in chunking it down just a little bit so that you can enjoy the shifting, changing, moving journey that we're on, because that's part of the delight. That's part of the magic of this human journey, is that we get to morph and we get to evolve and we get to change and shift as long as we're making choices that light us up, that feel magical, that help us play at our best, then those are the choices that I want for you. So hopefully, Erin, this will just reduce the stress a little bit, lighten the load a little bit, and make you feel more comfortable that it's just one conversation at a time, and some of those conversations we need to have with ourselves. From my heart to yours, hugs.